gonna have a new board up there. We're gonna have a new board up there as of next year. So it won't smile like it's sitting there eating monkeys or something. Smiling. I can smile too, see? And the lawyer was here when that said too. I forgot about that. You look, Adrian. I'm telling the truth and you know it.
I sure can. But one little language like that to be used. Here.
We didn't turn out untreated ties. We're going to put the, I got $2 now. Paul wants to if I don't ever get away.
What's that?
We're opening this public hearing for the tax levy that will be voted on Monday night for tax bills coming out for the year 2014, but you'll get your tax bill sometime in, I don't know, December probably.
I'm just saying I'll get one. Just check me out first.
The rate, this past tax bill was 0.8812, and now it's going to be they're hoping it'll be 0.8982. Calculated, my home up on Riverview Drive would raise my rate, total amount of the year of $3.06. For market value of a $263,157 home, assessed value of $50,000, it would raise that person's bill $8.50 for the year. Additional to what it was, it'd be $440.60. Well, that's what it was in 2013, $449.10 for 2014 if this passes. The difference of $8.50. Mine was, I'm rounding mine up to $18,000 for assessed value, which $158.62 last year, $161.68 this year, for a difference of $3.06. If you have any questions, this would be the time to air it.
Okay. So you go water and sewage bill $3 something, or you're going to raise it up $3 something more?
This is only on assessed valuation of the home.
I know, but I'm talking about everything else.
This would raise it up.
Y'all act like there ain't much money. But here's to a person that's getting by, just getting by. You raise your water bill up, you're already going to talk about raising your water bill up. Now you're going to raise this up, next thing you know, somebody's going to want to raise up this other tax, on street tax and road tax. So next thing you guys got $20 a month coming out of the check more than what he's got right now. See, y'all don't think about that.
When have we
But y'all don't really care.
suggested we were raising the water bill?
Huh?
When have we suggested we were raising the water
Hey,
bill?
Walter did. Last meeting.
I'd like to see the minutes of that, of saying that we were going to raise it.
Pevely was the only one talking against it. You just getting a little tit-tat with Pevely's over. Yes, you were.
Excuse
Miss
me,
Metaphor, go ahead.
excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you here, but could we please stay on the tax rate issue,
Yes.
if you all don't mind?
I do.
Well, maybe we need to have another meeting, maybe a town hall meeting or something to discuss all issues, but I would really rather prefer tonight, right now, to stay on the tax issue, right, if you don't mind.
You don't run this. He does.
No, I know I don't, I'm just making.
Okay. Excuse me, please. Thank you.
Thank you for what?
We're not going to argue about this.
I might want to.
Well,
Meet you at Denny's in Arnold.
Huh?
We'll meet at Denny's in Arnold, we can argue.
I don't like Denny's.
You pick and buy out
I ain't buying
Okay,
nothing.
okay. Do I have any? Go
Who's it
ahead.
up to, who is it up to for this to pass?
We get to vote on it
Who does?
the board gets to vote on this at Monday's meeting. It'll either pass or it won't. Go ahead, Ms. Spatafor.
May I ask you, since this is a board's decision, what are your options? That's my first question. What are your options? Can't you,
I'll let Dickie answer your question.
thank you.
I went out to Hillsborough on Tuesday morning, I met with Terry, the assessor's office, and also Gene with West Wagner's office, talk about the tax thing, so I was better prepared for this. If they do not raise it to this level, which is calculated by the state, as you know, if we voluntarily lower it, it automatically affects next year's ceiling. We can't go back to this ceiling next year if we find out our revenues are a little shy. We have to petition the state to restore this ceiling. Automatically, the ceiling's gonna be lower next year, so it'll be less revenue next year, it's less revenue. The theory is that we need this tax mill right now, this mill rate, to maintain where we're at right now. So yes, they have the option, they can voluntarily reduce the mill. It has ramifications, I can tell you, the lady out of West Wagner's office says, she advised me to inform the board, they don't want to do that. They can, but they should really seriously think about doing that because it really may have adverse effects on the overall funding levels for the community later down the road. So that's what I would inform the board, that if you lower it, you have the ramifications next year. And with that said,
So we're being blackmailed. They're blackmailing you to vote for it. Is that what you're saying? Come on, that's what they're saying.
not blackmail,
That's blackmail.
the state has done the math for us, and the state's telling us to stay where you're at currently with the services and all those other things you provide. You need this mill rate. And that's what they're telling us by their numbers.
Okay, I understand that. What is the ramifications if you keep the rate at the same rate that it is currently, at the 8812?
I did not have time to run revenues. The auditor was only here Wednesday, well, not the auditor, the accountant was only here one day, this Wednesday.
And I'm not asking for numbers. I'm asking for what is, you said that the state, if we lower it, okay, if we lower the rate.
No, that would be lowering it.
That would be
If-
considered, that's my question, that would be considered lowering it.
Right.
If we stayed with the 2013 rate of 88.8812.
Right.
Okay,
So you're being blackmailed.
all right. Which that was the highest rate that we've received in the past 5 years. It actually went up higher than from the previous years.
Is that also in line with other cities our size?
Well, as far as their mill rate, I can't answer what their mill rate is. I can only answer that every community in the area received the same forms we got from the state, which all that's calculated in there. So basically, we're just taking the numbers from the state, what they have already calculated, and that's what I used in this form. I did not do any other calculations, and I didn't look at other communities either.
Well, only according to the county's documents, that the only one that's closest to us is High Ridge, maybe DeSoto has .7795.
But like DeSoto, they have a Walmart store.
Yeah,
They
I'm
have,
just, she asked a question.
right, oh, I'm just saying though,
Yeah.
that's what the difference is because Crystal City and Festus split
They have
a Walmart store. Pardon me?
They have a Walmart store too, but they pay less than what we do.
That's right, because they have more sales tax and revenue coming in. where we don't. That's
Why
what
don't
hurts
you get a
us.
Walmart store then?
Pardon me?
Get you a Walmart store.
If it was just that simple,
More taxes on these poor people in this town. We cannot do it.
That's right.
Yo, you get a union, one day I hope you get a social security, maybe I don't hope that well, but I hope you do.
go ahead, Paul.
Did I understand, okay, I just want to make sure that I'm understanding it correctly. If we go with this 8982 rate, okay, that has been suggested as a formula, that is, I don't know, I guess I want to say mainly in the simplest term, maybe that's just a cost of living increase kind of thing that's going to maintain us at the level that we are currently at.
I can tell you, when I worked through this worksheet here, they sent us, and I looked through the form, it's basically based on real property and personal property decline and increases in those, and then there's a mathematical formula
Right,
they used.
right.
And that's what it was. That's how they got this, that's how this number here.
Yeah.
Now, there may be some other things involved.
No, I understand how they got to that,
Yeah.
got to that number, I understand that. But what I'm saying is that this is, just to maintain us at the current level that we're at. This
Right.
increase, it's not like if we took it up to, say, 92.82. 92, we raised it up if we chose, because we can choose to make it higher if we want. Okay, if we chose to make it higher, then we could take and maybe do additional things with that money. That we would actually be bringing in more money, but it would be a tax burden to our citizens. Is that correct?
If we raise the mill rate, yes, there will be increased revenues beyond what's projected with this mill rate.
Right,
That is correct.
okay. Thank you.
If we could get a big box store or whatever in this town, then we could stay with the rate we've got. We don't have.
Actually, probably lower.
Okay. If we had a Walmart, if we had a Home Depot, if we had a Lowe's, we don't. We don't have that. So we have to work within what we have. What we do have is we have guns, we have IGA, we have Dollar General. We do have revenue generators. I don't think we have a revenue problem in this town. And I've had that issue with previous boards, and I didn't think I was going to have that issue with this board, but we have revenue generators. What we have is a spending problem. I don't want to go off on there, but what I'm saying is we have revenue. That we have it. It's a mismanagement problem. I keep hearing, well, we'll have, Sam, if we just develop Highway Z, the sky will open up, and everybody will come in, and we'll live in a perfect world. But you can't keep laying off, whether it be $3, $12, et cetera, on down the line. You just can't keep doing it.
Yeah, they can.
Well, they can, but they should. But if we get this, if we get that, we don't have that. So we got to live within our means. That's it. You just can't keep raising revenue with $3 here and $5 here. How high is it? We got one, closest to one of the highest sales tax, in the state. Only probably behind Irby a little bit. We're looking at, per dollar, 8-9%. That's ridiculous.
Most people don't even buy it. You go out for the taxes.
Well,
I know my son does.
got to live within our means. We don't have it, so hopefully we may get something like that. But we do have revenue generators right here now. We have a spending problem, not a revenue problem. And that's been quite some time that's been going on, So that's all I can tell you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Go ahead.
So just from my own personal knowledge, because I'm not aware of, personal and real are based on the same calculation?
Yes, they're combined. When they do the calculation, they combine the two values, and they use the lump sum then to do the calculations.
Does that make any sense?
No.
Not really, but then I'm not real smart on
They do
that.
assess personal property and also real estate property within the community, and those two values are then added together, and that's what they use in their formulas. It's a combination of those values.
You need to
So
take it.
what, so we have a house and then we have cars. I mean, and each individual person has, you know, their own value. And so your whole life, or, I mean, I'm just saying life, is lump summed into this calculation.
Yes,
And then their life is lump sum into this, everything that they own.
Everybody in town.
Yeah, okay.
If you live in poverty, you don't make that until you live to the rest. That's the main thing. This whole Stephen County is 85% poverty. But yet, they want to raise your taxes up, they want to raise your water, the storage up. They want to keep the poverty people paying more, and they can't hardly take care of themselves now.
I just didn't know if personal or real were the same.
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Well, I can understand the need for this, okay, but I can also understand the needs of the citizens that we have, all right? And I just continually go back to this. I'm sorry if I sound a broken record, but, you know, an increase of $3.74 a year may not sound like a lot to some people, okay? But when you're adding that on to, you may be in your Social Security check or your SSI check, you're maybe getting a 1% increase in that, cost of living, plus, you know, all the other tax things that we have now, that we have at least 6 of them, that were additional fees that we're paying in our city. And I'm gonna continue to go back to these figures. We have 60% of our households are women, single women.
These guys don't like women, I'll tell you that.
And, excuse me?
No.
They don't like women.
Well, I'm sorry, because I happen to be one of those women, and I have 7 of those women on my block. All right, and I live, I think, on a pretty average block in this town. And 54% of our people are in some kind of, receiving some kind of fixed income. And I'm not talking about just people that are on welfare or whatever. I'm talking about people that are on fixed incomes, getting Social Security and that. And I know this doesn't, I mean, if you're going to go with this, you know, which it almost sounds like, you know, and I think we had this discussion last year too, you know, I mean, it's a formula the state gives us, we're kind of, our hands are kind of tied with it. But it, you know, it's something that we have to go, you know, that's gonna be that detrimental to us. I think that we need to start thinking about making concessions in other areas. If this is something that we need to pass, then we need to look at cutting something in somewhere else so that our citizens can pay for this, you know, because it doesn't appear that over the past, I'm going to be real blunt here, it doesn't appear that over the past 20 years that we've had anybody speaking up for these people. And I'm sorry, but I think that I'm going to be a self-appointed person, and I'm just going to keep laughing and paying.
3,000 times 6,000, $18,000. Y'all throw that down Main Street away on the fancy lights getting put up.
So I would encourage you all, if you, this is something that it's going to be detrimental to us, that we don't pass it, you know, and it's detrimental to us 2 years down the road, then maybe we think maybe make an adjustment somewhere else so that our citizens can afford this.
Okay. Anybody else?
Respectfully, guys, and I walked in late. Quick history for everybody. Moved into this town in 2008, so I'm one of the new kids. Closed on a house December of 2008. Bought the house for $140,000. In March of that year, it had been listed for $200,000. What you're doing, and I fully understand that you got to go up a mill to maintain where you're at. Not questioning that at all. In reality, for me, for a lot of people, their rates are going to go up. I'll tell you, my tax bill's probably going to go down. My tax bill on that $140,000 house, year one, was, don't hold me to exact numbers, but was $4,900. Year 2 was $4,500. Assessed value was 140, was 140. It dropped this year, my tax bill was $3,200. $1,975 of it was for the NID, $1,300 was for property taxes. Houses in my development will not sell. That $140,000 house, the reason my taxes are gonna go down is the assessed value this year dropped to $98,000. I know you're doing what you gotta do to maintain it. I'm not questioning that. Been there, played the, had the mayor's role, all that. I know you're doing what you gotta do. But when I hear that we have to do this because we don't have the big box store, I agree. There's pluses and minuses in that. It's not as great as everybody thinks it is sometimes. Some of the headaches that come with it. But the bigger question that I pose to this board is to look at the policy and look at why don't we have that big box store? Why did the value of my property go from $140,000 to $98,000 and people can't sell their houses in that development? And I see that number going down. I turned down a position 2 weeks ago for an advancement in my career because I knew that I couldn't get out from under my house. How do we turn this around? If we don't have the big box store, if we don't have the other revenue generators, how do we end the cycle? I'm not talking about maintaining, because maintaining, every year that mill's got to come up. So I'll go back to, if we don't have a way in a plan to fix the impediments that keep those things from coming in, then we got to fix it internally. And that may very well be shrinking what we have.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very well said.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Okay. Anybody else have a comment? Any alderman have a comment?
You were saying that they take and they do this with real estate and personal property?
Yep.
So you're saying that this will show on the personal property side of it too?
What I'm saying in the calculation, they take in, their calculations are based on the total, sum total of both values.
Right.
Now,
Okay.
how that breaks out in the real tax world, I didn't have that much time to spend with Terry and the other folks in Hillsborough.
Well, make it short on you. My point is this increase gonna be on my real estate tax and my personal property tax?
Everything.
Yeah, it's on both.
So,
It's on
okay,
both. You'll see,
so
there's a
see,
little line there that
here's
says
where,
monthly.
here's where I'm gonna be transparent with you, is this is my time to talk, sir. Thank you. Okay, so we're not just talking real estate, and Ed's house is $3.40. Now we got Ed's house at $3.40, plus his real estate, or his personal property is gonna be $1.68.
I don't have a way to calculate that.
Well,
Because we don't keep track
but we
of
need
personal
to,
property.
we need to consider this in a nutshell, because we're not just talking this is just for my house. This is for my cars and my boat and my lawnmower.
I don't have any way to calculate those values.
Okay, well, that's just,
You
so
can-
you people understand, it's
Wait
not
just a
just
minute.
one bill you're gonna get,
I know that.
it's 2 bills you're gonna get. So it's really 2 increases. But some people don't care, I realize that. Some people live somewhere else, and some other people live somewhere else. Some people live in trailers, some people live in brick houses with siding on the back. I understand that. Okay? Some people have better jobs than others. The whole problem is it's all a dollar. Some people have to work for their money. Some people lose their jobs trying to save their money. I'm done.
Okay, go ahead, Paul.
If you call out to Hillsborough, the ladies out there will be more than happy if you give them your address and give them what your personal property, you know, what your years of your cars are and everything else. They will look that up and they will tell you how much it will be.
And then you can get your increase on your personal property tax.
Yeah, I mean, they will.
So do that
You can
tomorrow,
call-
because
You can call them
we
and
both
ask
learned
them,
it.
okay, this is my projection, this is what I'm projecting, okay, so what will my new tax be? Okay, for what, you know, because they're gonna be doing it, okay, what's my new tax gonna be, what's the tax bill I'm going to be receiving? Okay, and they will do that for you. You can, for your personal property and for your real estate, you can call both departments.
Okay, I'll call out there tomorrow. Any other questions? Okay, I'll close this hearing then, thank you.
I'm set for that.